I want to talk about what do we want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Okay, so what I'm about to tell you, I'm just there's something that I'm really tired about. There's something that I'm finding really, really frustrating. So today I was on Twitter and um, a Republican politician was talking about Trump receiving this gift from Qatar, or the United States receiving this gift from Qatar, this $400 million luxury jet that will, when Trump's presidential term is over, will be turned over to the Trump Presidential Library. Won't get into all that, but this politician was saying how this isn't okay. Like, this is a Republican saying this isn't okay. It's skeevy, it's sketchy, and we shouldn't be doing it. And at the end of the day, it's not going to end well. And somebody responded, and really it was a matter that we shouldn't be accepting these kinds of gifts from other countries. And I get it. And somebody responded, well, what about the Statue of Liberty? Because as you know, the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the nation of France to the nation of the United States, and they're equating the Statue of Liberty to this luxury jetliner. I'm not going to get into how ludicrous that is. It's the desire to compare things. But what about? But what about this? But what? Oh yeah, he did it. Oh yeah. But what about the last guy that did it? Right? Oh, Trump did something. Fine. But what about what Joe Biden did? And so Trump had a name for Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. One of the nicknames that he coined for him was Sleepy Joe because there had been a couple of times where Joe nodded off. Anyhow, this was an image that I found from yesterday. Headline is breaking. In a stunning moment, Donald Trump just fell asleep at his briefing in Saudi Arabia. What a disaster. There he is asleep. Now, I know that showing you this, there are going to be people out there who will say, yeah, but what about Joe Biden? Joe Biden fell asleep all the time. 80 years old. He was tired all the time. He was this, he was that. Here's my thing with all this. It doesn't really bother me that he fell asleep. What bothers me is that the people who work for him didn't factor in giving him a couple of hours sleep before he went to something like this. He's an older guy. He needs rest. Maybe he doesn't sleep well on a plane. Maybe he enjoys speaking to the other people around him in that big steel tube. I don't know. But he just happens to be tired, and so he happened to nod off. I'm not terribly upset by that. What bothers me is the same people who say, yeah, but what about Joe Biden, were the same people when Joe Biden fell asleep said how unprofessional it was and how awful it was and how unpresidential it was and what a mockery of the president's office that it was and how it makes America look weak and makes America look sad and makes America look tired. Whatever standard you hold, and I'm just going to use this term, but whatever standard you hold your enemy to is the standard you must hold your friends to. Otherwise, it's hypocrisy. And God knows, God don't like no hypocrite. So whatever standard we hold our enemies to, we must hold our friends to. If I'm willing to let the person I support, if I'm willing to let the person I support get off from the standard that I hold the person that I detest, well, it just sets up a really bad precedent, right? It sets up a really bad precedent because the next person that comes along and the next Joe Smith, who's the next president, and you say, I can't believe Joe Smith fell asleep. Well, what about Donald Trump? Donald Trump slept through an interview with the Saudis. Now what? Our standards end up going down. Our standards end up getting worse and worse and worse, and all we do is point our fingers at each other, and all we do is blame one another, and all we do is condemn one another. Where does that get us? Where does that get us except lower and lower and lower on the evolutionary scale? We're called to be better than that. You and I, for example, with these videos, these conversations that we have, it should never be about just simply condemning someone. It's always about recognizing, or at least I try, that it should always be about recognizing, here's a problem. Let us never commit this thing. Let's never do this. Here's an issue. Let's never do this. Here's a way, here's a behavior, here are words. Let's not be like them who say these things and do these things and behave in these ways. Otherwise, the only thing we become is like the thing we detest. That's what we end up growing to be. If I have a problem with Trump falling asleep after, 8 hours in the air or 10 hours in the air, whatever it happened to be, if I have a problem with him falling asleep at a briefing, then I must have a problem with the person I support falling asleep at a briefing. If I don't believe falling asleep at a news conference, if I believe that falling asleep at a news conference is unprofessional, then it's unprofessional for Trump, it's unprofessional for Biden, it's unprofessional for the next guy. It's unprofessional for those I like and for those I dislike. It's unprofessional for those I support and for those I choose not to support. It's just unprofessional. And if it's embarrassing, then it's embarrassing. Period. And if my guy does it, if the person I support does it, I must hold them to account in the same way that I would hold someone I choose not to support. This isn't difficult, but I would challenge you. That if your baseline defense is, but what about such and such, then please ask yourself why. Why is it okay? Why is it okay now when it wasn't okay then? Why is that? Why is it that something I attacked another person for okay now when the person I support does it? The standards we hold our enemies to must be the standards we hold our friends to. As a matter of fact, I would say they should be the lower end of those standards. We should hold our friends. We should hold the people we support. We should hold the people we lift up. Those people that we count on. Those people that we get behind. Those people that we endorse. Those people that we speak up for. We should hold them to a higher standard. Amen.